Welcome back, everybody, and today we're going to be making a crankbait with a soft plastic tail. So this should be really fun, and there's a bunch of things that I've never done before incorporated into this lure. So I've seen all different kinds of videos and pictures of this kind of lure on Instagram and different places like that, and it seems really cool with a really unique sporadic action. So I can't wait to get started. So thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the video. So just a basic explanation of this lure before we get started. So basically at the end here, at the tail, we'll have a spring or some kind of wire connection that I'll make or find to be able to put on the end of that lure there to be able to connect our soft plastic tail to the end of this lure. Then we'll also have the line tie, obviously, the 2 hook hangers there, and the lip at the front just to make sure that it has a really, really neat looking action. So basically the soft plastic that we're going to make for this lure is these kind of guys. Kind of curly Q tails, and these I've been making recently with a 3D printed mold. Actually, it's really cool looking mold, and we'll also be making these in the video to be able to add to the trailer of this lure as well. So should be a lot of fun. So let's get started. So I've just been calling this kind of lure a crankbait with a soft plastic tail, but if you guys know an official name, definitely let me know down in the comments because I'm pretty curious. Alright, so here's the basic shape so far, and now it's time to use the Dremel to shape it out. Alright, so I've just finished up making the spring here, and really all I did was take a basic paper clip, and I made sure it was a pretty thick one, so that way it would be really durable in the end there. And then I just twisted it around this nail. You just pull it off, clip the extra ends, and basically what you're going to do with this curly end, eventually at the end, is I just snipped off a little bit of the head there, and then you're just going to take the end here, and then twist it around onto your curly Q. Anyway, there it is. There it is connected there, and then basically that'll just be the end of your lure, and then you have that really cool looking tail end. So here's what it's looking like right now. I drilled through a little bit there, but that's no worry because we're just gonna add some baking soda and super glue when we install the spring here, and it should be all fine. So that's basically what it's gonna look like on the end, and then so that way it'll be ready to be screwed in like I showed earlier. And then we're gonna wait to install this till we have the lip all cut out and ready. So then we're going to add all the lead and all the rest of the hardware, and then should be ready to go. I'm not sure if I'm going to carve the gills or paint them yet, so still thinking about that, but that's what it's looking like. Alright, so now we're about to make all the hardware and install everything and get it ready to be tested. So we have the end there, and I marked everything out for where everything's going to go. We have the 2 lead holes there. In between there is the hook hanger, and then we also have the hook hanger back here along with the front line tie. Probably gonna cut all those out, drill them all out, install the lip, install the spring, probably do the eye sockets, sand up quite a bit, and then seal with some polyurethane. So let's get started. Here's the spring all installed with some baking soda and super glue to hold it in there, along with the lead holes drilled and also the hook hangers drilled and line tie. So now the next step is to sand it a little bit more and then use some polyurethane, seal it all up, and then add some lead to see how it sinks and figure out how we want this thing to work. So there we are, and now it's time for polyurethane. Alright, so as you guys just saw there, I just added the lead, and feels pretty good, pretty proportional to the way I want it to move, so now it's time to test it. Alright, so it's upright, which is good. It has a really fast float back. So I'm definitely going to add a bit more, just to make sure that I get a really slow kind of sink or slow kind of rise, and then we should be good from there. Alright, this is where I'm going to leave it. This has a really big forward lean there, and once I had line tie and everything, and when I'm fishing with it, it would kind of balance out a little more. So it has a fairly slow rise, but it's going to get even slower with everything else. We're going to have to add the hooks, the line ties, hardware, even the eyes, paint, clear coats, all that kind of stuff. So pretty happy with that. Alright, here it is all put together. The lips all taped up. I got all the line ties and hook hangers in, and everything's staying down pretty well. Try to get rid of all the imperfections and little creases and cuts from using the Dremel and everything. But now it's time for the second coat of polyurethane, just to make sure everything's really sealed and ready to be smooth and painted. So I have some cool patterns to try in this, so it should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. And let's get started. So I started the painting process with a stencil that I made just to add kind of a cool different pattern there with that blue line, and then I went to the gold scales on the top to add some cool looking detail. Alright, so a little bit of recap. I used some pearlized black here from Createx Colors, and used that for kind of perch, kind of stripes here. I think that turned out really cool. I love the combination between the blue and the gold, and also that color black. So that's probably going to be the top as well. And then I'm going to add probably just one gill plate, and then orange in the belly, and then the fins and everything else. So that's what it's looking like. Should be really cool. And then we can get to making the soft plastic tails once we're done painting it. So like I mentioned earlier, I was going to add orange, but I decided to change my mind. I think I'm just going to repaint white over there and just kind of clean it up down here. And I don't know why, but I just feel like the orange won't go great with this. It might look fine, but I think I'm just going to leave it like this. I like how that looks. So now we're just going to add the gills and then the fins, and then we should be all good. So I was originally going to add fins right about here, those side fins, and I think I decided not to because that kind of spike is a little bit in the way, and I think it'll look just kind of jumbled right there with all kinds of black. So we're not going to do that, but this is looking pretty cool. I'm really happy with how the gills turned out and the different stencils I used for that. So now it's time to pick the eyes, install those, get it all clear coated, and then we can get to the soft plastic. Alright, so this is the plastic that we're going to be using to make the tail, and this is X-Cube. They just have regular plastics just in cubes that are already colored. So we're just going to do white here. Pretty basic color, but I think it'll work pretty well. So that's the plastic we're going to use. And then I also have, this is the 3D printed mold that's pretty awesome. I got it for my birthday as a gift. Really, really cool. And we're going to make some soft plastic tails with this one. So let's get started. So if you guys want to learn along with me and learn more about making soft plastic lures, then you can definitely go check out one of my past videos on how I made soft plastic Senkos. And I went a little more in depth there, a lot more in depth on how to make these soft plastic lures. Alright, now it's time to open the lure. Alright. There's a little bit of flash in there through the cavity where the air goes, but looks pretty good. I think I didn't wait long enough. It is a little warm yet, but that looks pretty good. There's a little bit of blue left in my container here, in my mixing cup, but I just kind of left it in there and it turned into a really cool baby blue color. So that might actually go along better with this paint scheme because of that blue line that I added. So kind of cool. A little bit by coincidence, but it's pretty neat. So the first one was really white and clean, but then the second one I think will be a little bit more blue. Alright, so here's how this guy sinks. Look at that. Really slow, really front heavy, and kind of actually bounces on the bottom there. So, look at that. Really cool. Alright, now it's time to test the action on this guy. I just add a tail here, as you can see, and I think it came together really cool. So we're just going to let it sink there. So that tail is actually holding it up a little bit, which is good, because it was floating a little too quick before. So obviously this is no replacement for testing in the pond, which we will be able to do during the summertime. We're going to test out all the lures that we make during the wintertime. I think this thing will have a really good action. I can't wait to test that out. I'm definitely going to make a bunch of replacements for the tail there and see how it works, but that's pretty awesome. Alright, there it is, the finished product. This is definitely something much different from what I normally do with the soft plastic tail here, but it was definitely fun to kind of expand and try something new, and I definitely tried a bunch of different things and learned more stuff while making this lure. I got to use some new colors with this pearlized black in the top, which I'll definitely use again, pretty neat color. I tried the coffin bill, I add that spring in the end with the soft plastic tail, so overall I think this lure was really cool to be able to learn and kind of advance in making lures. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I have some pretty cool plans for upcoming videos, so make sure you subscribe and make sure you don't miss out on those. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.